For the shadows on these tulips, I'm using cerulean blue, quinacridone rose, and azo yellow. 3 primary colors mixed together to make a gray. Start with the blue, add a little bit of the pink, to make a purple, and a tiny little bit of yellow. Just a little yellow to gray it up. And then I like to also have a little bit of a cooler version of this gray as an option as well. I'm going to wet this petal, leaving just a tiny little bit of dry watercolor paper at the top for the highlight of the petal. Trying to wet the surface as evenly as I can. I first observe the paper. I'm noticing that there's more water at the bottom here, so I'm just going to try and lift some of that out. The other option is just to wait for that to dry a little bit. I'm going to pick up my purpley gray here and just drop it in and watch how far it bleeds. The first drop tells me how wet the paper is. Then I just begin to expand the shape a little bit. As my brush runs out of paint, I do the parts where the values are lighter around the edge of the petal. I observe that naturally some little blossoms start to happen at the top, which is exactly what my picture looks like. So I'm going to use that. Here I'm going to put the color right up to the edge. And just bring it along this edge. Now I'm going to just grab some of my cooler blue, gray, and drop that in. Just over on this side, but I don't want it to be too dark. I'll put some in, then clean my brush, and now I'm just going to maneuver that around a little bit so I get a little bit of that bluey color from underneath where the petal goes a little cooler, less warm. And then just to keep the prettiness of this petal, I'm going to take just a little tiny bit of the quinacridone rose, not too much. I'm just going to pretty up one little spot just to keep the color of this flower. It looks like everything's in shadow, but you want to make sure that it doesn't become all dull gray shadows. Keep the color in there, even exaggerate the color. As it begins to dry, I watch to see if any of this needs darkening. So sometimes you gotta wait about 30 seconds or so until the water evaporates. And then go back in, dab, 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 while it's still wet, and you get that little bit of darkness coming down. As the water evaporates and the paper becomes drier, your brush marks remain more visible, so you can get more lines happening that still have soft edges.